We'll start here. And so did anyone get to try it out? All right, so if you're not trying things, remember, you're not going to remember, so you're cheating yourself the opportunity to build those bridges you need. But let's go ahead and focus and make sure you study this tonight, okay? Okay, so what does step 1 tell us on the previous page? Identify what? Well, not before you do that. First it says to identify something. A, B, and C. Okay? All right, excellent. All right, so Chauncey, what are A, B, and C?
A is 1.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Perfect. Okay. And step 2 tells us to find axis of symmetry. All right, Lynn, what's the formula for finding the axis of symmetry? X equals? Very good. So we're just taking these values, plugging them in. Notice I use parentheses. Make sure you're writing this down. Here's the 6 over 2 equals -3. Okay? So the axis of symmetry is x equals -3. You must write it just like that. X equals -3. Okay? All right. The next thing we want is the vertex. Now, if I know what the axis of symmetry is, I also know what part of the vertex I see within.
Yeah.
Because I made a mistake, it should be +3. Good. All right. Good catch. Okay? So that should be the opposite of -6, which is the +6 over 2, which is 3. Excellent, Chauncey. Okay? So now, if I know the axis of symmetry is 3, what does that also tell me? The x, what? The x is 3. Be more specific. Okay, Celia. Not the x-intercept. What about the vertex? Is it?
It's the X for the vertex.
It's the x coordinate of the vertex. Okay, very important. You might need to write that down. This is also the x coordinate of the vertex. For every x coordinate, I must have a corresponding what? Y. So in order to find y, I've got to put x where? Into the equation. Into the equation. So I'm going to put 3 here for x. So I'm going to find f of 3 for y is 3 squared minus 6 times 3 plus 5. All right? So I do that math. And while you're doing that math, what is it? -4? Does anyone care? I heard it. So we agree that y is -4. Okay, make sure you can confirm things. Don't just go by what you hear other people saying. The act of doing the math yourself is helping you to remember it. You learn math by doing, not by watching and listening. Okay? All right. So let's go ahead and start graphing some stuff. So my axis of symmetry is +3. So what does the axis of symmetry look like? What does it look like, Anna? What is it? Look on the page 1. It tells you on the left side. On that left side of that sheet. Next to line step number 2. Find the axis of symmetry. Then it says graph it how? Yeah, a dashed vertical line. Okay? So through what point?
3. Oh,
yeah, you're right. So here's my dash on vertical line. So everybody do that. Okay? And then my vertex is 3, 4, 3, -4. Then here's my vertex. Which way does my parabola open?
upwards. Up.
Up, because that's positive, so I know it's going to go up. So I need to find some more points. Incidentally, what's the domain? It's always going to be the same thing. All real numbers. And the range always starts with what letter? X or Y. So it's going to be Y. Then because it's open upward, it's going to be greater than the Y coordinate of the vertex. Okay? So some of you need to write a note to yourself. Okay, maybe draw an arrow. The range always comes from the Y coordinate of the vertex. All right. Now, a zero is the same as the x-intercept. Okay? The zeros occur, the x-intercept occurs where y equals 0. The y-intercepts occur where x equals 0. All right, so let's use the table function. So now everybody type the original equation into your calculator. The equation, this is it right here. That's what you're typing in. X squared minus 6x plus 5.
It's already typed.
It's already typed in? Okay, lucky you. Okay, so now, did everybody get an upward opening parabola when you graphed it? Got it? Good.
Oh, yeah.
I hope by now everyone should be comfortable typing in an equation.
I know that.
Okay, so now, let's get to the table. Now, raise your hand if you know how to get to the table. Anybody remember?
You press second table.
Second
graph.
graph, okay, or F5, that gets you to the table. Now, okay, Julian, you don't want to miss this, okay? So, I want to find first my zeros, my x-intercepts. The x-intercepts occur where the y's are 0. So look in your y column, and then find the zeros in the y column, and what are the corresponding x's?
1.
Okay, so one of them is 1 comma 0. What's the other one? 5 comma 0, okay? Raise your hand if you don't see where we got those numbers from.
How you got 2? How do you get 2?
There's 2 zeros. You got the- I'm looking in the Y column and I see 2 more zeros. I have to kind of scroll up and down to make sure I
But they
get
don't
it.
understand that there's more than 1 0 there.
Okay, look at the graph.
That's
You're asking me why is there more than 1 0? Oh, okay, look at the graph.
Oh, you might see, yeah.
Okay, all right, it because remember the graph crosses the x-axis twice, so that's why you have 2 zeros. Okay. Okay.
For like 2 rows.
Who's going to do? Why you want to clear? Stop. Oh, you can also do the second plus 7 1 too. All right. Okay, so 0 is an x-intercept. X-intercept. That's the x-intercept. That's the x-intercept. That's 1 0. Yeah, but it's easy. Where is my y equals 0? Okay. Who still doesn't see it? It's okay.
No, I just put the equation.
All right. Okay, so here's your plan.
There's 1. And then you go down
Okay, sit up, sit up. Okay, all right. Is everybody good? Y'all good? Okay, good. So be sure to let us know. Okay, all eyes up here. So now let's keep going. So if the x-intercept is where y is 0, okay, and so the y-intercept is where x is 0. So now look at the table and see if you can find the y-intercept, and there's only one y-intercept.
Which one are we doing?
Okay,
This one
so
here.
it's going to
So
be
here's
at
your x,
0
so
comma
that's
5.
x, so push that one. And then you want it to be squared, so push that.
Okay.
And then
All
what's
right.
next?
So now let's see
That's a
if we can get our
subtraction sign.
parabola graph. So let's graph those
Minus
points.
6x
All of these points
plus
are part of our
Alright.
parabola.
And then hit graph.
So if we get these points on
So
there,
there's two.
we'll have enough to graph it, okay?
Okay, now she
So
wants to talk
1,
about the
0 is
See how
here,
there's words in blue up here?
5, 0
To
is
get to the
here,
ones in blue, you push
0,
that
5 is
second,
here, and
then look, we
remember
have the
the
table.
axis of symmetry is like, it divides the parabola
Alright, you
into
can
a
use a
mirror
cell phone,
image
or
of
you can use
itself
that.
on either side. So if I'm 3 units to the left, if I go 3 units to the right, I'll also have another point. And now I can draw my parabola. Make sure you make it nice and curvy at the bottom, not sharp and pointy like a V. Alright, that's why we say it's a U-shaped curve.
Go.
Okay. And sketch that on your graph, on your paper. Alright. Everyone has a graph? Who's still drawing? Okay, keep going. Alright. So, did you plot those points? Don't just draw a parabola, you have to have the right points, right? Right? Okay. Who needs 10 more seconds to finish graphing? Okay? Mm-hmm.
Like the very bottom, you know, it's supposed to be.
Because I calculated it earlier. The vertex is at 3, -4. Mm-hmm.
For the zeros, is it must be 0, 5?
Yes.
No, I mean, this
Oh.
first.
This one, okay, the zero is where y is equal to 0. Okay.
Once you start.
Okay, let's move forward. Are we ready? Okay, Dictionary, you ready? Anna, you ready? Okay, great. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the intervals of increase and decrease, okay? Right, Chauncey? Right, okay. So, you ready, Ryan? Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, what were the 2 words I used Friday for increase and decrease? I used like some every day. I didn't say up. I think I said what? Rising and falling. Thank you. Okay. So increasing was the same as rising, and decrease was the same as falling. All right. So, guys, excuse me. Okay, Tiffany, Corey, you ready? I need you guys to pay attention to this. Okay. So, would this side be rising or falling? Okay, so if you're walking along, if this were a path and you were walking along here and you hit this, when you start falling, the right falling on this side. So this side must be rising. Okay? Now, what divides the parabola into a rising and falling side? What part of the parabola? What do you mean the x?
So, I mean,
Okay, you can think of the vertex and the axis of symmetry. Okay, exactly. So everything to the left of the vertex is falling, and those are numbers that are getting smaller. So this is the crucial part, okay? On the left side of the parabola, it's always going to be x less than. So left, L for left, L for less than. So therefore the right-hand side is going to be greater than. So it's always going to be x less than and x greater than. But what will switch is the rising and falling part, okay? So because this is an upward opening parabola, the left side is falling, or we should say decreasing. Now, it's to the left of the x-coordinate of the vertex, which is 3, all right? So this is the side that's falling, so I'm going to put x less than 3 on that side, because that's the side that's falling. This is the side that's rising or increasing. I'm going to put x greater than 3. It's rising on the right, it's falling on the left. Okay? So the right-hand side is the greater than side, the left-hand side is the less than side. Okay? And then finally, okay, any questions about that? All right, this takes practice. Rate of change.
It's just a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It sure is. Welcome to high school. High school algebra is a lot of work. Now, see this X right here?
Okay, y'all are talking, and that makes me not listen.
This X right here, this reminds me that these are X's. So this is an X, this is an X. So I need some Y values to go with those X values. Where can I get them?
From the problem,
What do you mean from the problem?
the graph table.
From the table, okay? So, all right, Julian. So let's use the table class to find the y values that go with these x values.
Julian, sweetie, you need to take a calculator out and on and in your hand.
So when x is 0, what is y?
5.
Does everybody agree it's 5? Okay.
Wait, wouldn't it be 5?
When x,
Wouldn't it be 5 and 1? No.
when x is 2, what is y?
Negative.
-3. Okay. What's another word? One word that means the same thing as rate of change.
Slope.
Slope. Okay. So we're going to use the slope formula. So I'm going to subtract my y's on top, my x's on the bottom. And Steve's going to watch and make sure I don't make any mistakes. Is that right? Okay, thank you. And then I'll leave this one for you to do. So you have to find out the matching y values for these x values and then plug them into the slope form. Okay? All right. So that was a quick mini lesson on what we did on Friday. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to pull out some really crucial information from this equation. If I know I told you to turn to the back of the first page, but if we look back on the first page, all right, so what we're talking about right now is really important, so you should be listening and not talking to your classmates. All right, so if you look at this page right here, it talks about this form. This is called vertex form. And the vertex form is really cool because it gives us the values of the vertex. The H and the K are the vertex. And so what we're going to always do is we're going to take the opposite of whatever is in the parentheses to get the x coordinate of the vertex, and then we're just going to take that number to get the y coordinate of the vertex. It'll make more sense when we actually try stuff, okay? So let's take a look starting here on number 9. So I can look at this vertex form of this equation and I can actually determine what the vertex is. I'm just going to call it V. I'm going to take the opposite of what's in the parentheses and I'm going to take that the same way as it's given to me. So my vertex is going to be -2, 1. So what I like to tell people is inside, opposite, outside the same. Inside, opposite, outside the same. Inside, opposite, outside the same. So what's the vertex for number 10?
-4, -1.
Take the opposite.
4, -1.
So 4, -1. So if it's inside parentheses, take the opposite. If it's outside the parentheses, leave it the same in terms of the sign. So what would be the vertex for this one?
1, 2.
1, 2. Okay, let's do number 12. What's the vertex?
2.
2, 3. So does everyone understand? If I'm looking inside the parentheses, then I'm going to take the opposite of that sign. If it's outside the parentheses, I keep it the same. Let's do the next one. What's this vertex? -4, +4. What's this one? -3, -3. Okay? So now, we're going to use our calculator to help us graph it. And I'm going to also show you a little shortcut that will help. Alright, so I'm going to go left 2, up 1. That's my vertex. Make sure I draw my axis of symmetry. That's always to be included when you graph a parabola. Alright? Okay. Now, we can take our calculator. Wait. Alright, I'm sorry.
To the back.
Yeah, right here. Okay. That single sheet of paper, that's going to be for your homework. So, the shortcut for clearing out your calculator is, I don't know if that's a shortcut. It's the second plus 712, or you can just press the clear button because you should only have one typed in. So let's type this equation in just like it is, just parentheses. So I'm going to do left parentheses, x plus 2, close it, and then I'm going to press the x squared button, plus 1. Wrap it. Okay, so we know it's going to be over here in the second quadrant. Is it going to touch the x-axis?
No.
No. So that means it has no what?
One.
Has no x-intercepts. Okay? If it has no x-intercepts, that means that it doesn't have any real solutions. It's going to have two imaginary solutions. Julian, you need to hear this. Okay? Okay, so pick up your pencil.
Miss Ford,
Yes.
that goes plus water on my face.
All right. Quickly. Okay? Now, I need some more points. So how can I get some more? Over here. Watch me. Take a pass. I need some more points. Take the. How can I get some more points? From the table. Okay? So let's see. So go to second table, or second graph. And, all right, looks like I have a y. What's the y-intercept? Okay, how do you get that? Okay, my vertex is at negative 2, 1. So I'm just going to find my vertex on my table. Okay, so go to negative 2, 1 on your table. Does everyone see negative 2, 1? So you're going to have to scroll around. You got to scroll on your table. Does everyone see that? And then just find some points around that. So, like, how about negative 3? What goes with negative 3? Does everybody know what I'm doing? I'm using the table just to get some more ordered pairs. Exactly.
Anybody that hasn't found their table, can you find your table?
Okay. All right. So then, so watch, guys. If I have a point here, 1 unit to the left, there's 1 unit to the right. So really, technically, I have enough points.
It's a mirror, right?
Yeah, it's a mirror image. Okay. So then I can just draw my parabola. But you need to have 3 to 4 points. You draw a good parabola. That's all we're doing.
Blue bows. So, you want to do the right?
Yeah, let's try another one. Yeah. So what's wrong? Okay, well then we'll help you. Okay? So what we're doing is we're just typing the equation into the calculator and then getting the table and then pulling some points off the table to graph. You don't have to plot all the points, just 3 or 4 of them. And you're good. Okay? So we're going to come around and help you. So do number 10 and number 11. Okay?
Blue bows. Yo.
Now, the vertex.
Which is negative 2, 1. Now you're going to look for points around negative 2, 1 to get the vertex. So she went up 1, negative 3 axis. And if you got 1 more, negative 4, 1, 7, 5. It's a mirror, so when you scroll up, there's 2
There it is.
faces, there's a mirror.
Let's get some more points. Above and below. For example, I can see
Unfortunately, we're not in charge of it. gonna let you go. Already have one board toe. Where you at? Which one you worked on? That one? Okay, put it in. 2, just like you said.
Here you have the function typed in.
Do you want-
After you have the function typed in, and then go
Now,
to the
type them
table,
there.
find your vertex.
Just the way you
and
see
plot
it.
the points around it.
Do your X square. There you go. Yay. Got it, Harry? Yeah, -1. Now, grab it. Yeah, there you go. Now, let's look at that table. So you go second. Blue button. Now, she was saying that, let's find our vertex point. So find where your X is 4. So kind of figure that X is 4, -1. So, and this is going to open
All
up
right,
because it's a
now
positive.
you have
So you, let's plot that one first. So let's get this point. So X is 4, and my Y is -1. So where it's gonna be right here. Now this is our vertex point. So that's the beginning, the very bottom of your parabola. It's right here. So now let's go up one. Let's find 3. So if X is 3, what's my Y? Oh, look, let's put our axis of symmetry in. That's my mirror. Okay, so if it's 1 space away on this side, it'll be 1 space. Find another point. 2 to 7. Wait, here, is that right? And then where is it over here? There's my mirror. There you go, and there he is. Make sure he's curved. And that's it. Use the calculator. This makes it easy. Okay? And the more you use the calculator, the easier it is. Just like the more you use your phone. First couple of times you're using your phone, you're like, wee, I don't know what to do. But the more you use it, the easier it is. Practice, practice. That's all it is.
Katie left her.
Hey, man.
Okay, I'm just kind of going down. First, I'll be there. Okay, you have all 6 graphs? Okay. All right, so that's what you can sit in the laptop. Okay? All right.
That was, I'm gonna let you go. That one was a more cheap one. I can't do this. Actually, that might be that one. No one. No.
What else would it do?
Too much talking. Too much talking.
Nothing is getting me nothing. You give me a pencil.
That's not a layers.
Whatever that